Hello and welcome back to the Gold Newsletter channel. My name is Kai Hoffman. I'm the @JR Mining Guy over on X, and I'm joined in a few short seconds by Tim Moody. He's president and CEO over at Pan Global Resources, and the company had news out earlier this week, which made a bit of a splash in the markets because the stock shot up. It traded up as high as 18 cents. Doesn't sound like much, but we're coming from about 9 to 10 cents in the last few weeks here. So it has been a good move, and the market reacted very positively. Albeit it's only soil samples from the Carmenes Project, but listen to the grades: 24.3 grams of gold and 16.2% copper. So quite enticing, and we'll have to bring Tim on to discuss those results. Before I switch over to my guest, hit that like and subscribe button. Helps us out tremendously, helps us out reaching a wider investor audience as well. So thank you so much for that. Tim, congratulations on those soil results. We know they're not drill results, they're just an indication, but they're ultra high grade. Can you explain the results to us, Tim?
Yeah, I can. Yes, there were a mixture of soil geochemistry results and some rock sample results. I guess there were two types of soil geochemistry results. The first was a sort of wider space and wider area survey done with the portable XRF, which really highlighted two of our main targets, the Providencia target and the Profunda target, where two old mines were, but also highlighted a number of other anomalies which could suggest additional breccia pipe type mineralization, which is the main target in this area. So that was one survey. Then we really zoomed in on the Providencia target with a detailed soil geochemistry program, about 200 samples, of which 49 of those samples, so about 25% of the survey, had over 1 gram gold, with a number of samples running plus 10 grams up to, I think there were 3 or 4 samples over 20 grams. So those are very big numbers for soil samples when you think that most surveys you're looking at parts per billion gold as an indicator, not parts per million or grams per ton. So spectacular gold numbers. And not only that, as we put in the news release, a number of quite a few images showing that there was also copper, nickel, cobalt, even some, I mentioned some PGEs, some lead, etc. So quite a mixed bag of metals, but it's the percentage levels of things like copper, nickel, and cobalt, as well as those big gold numbers that has really got our attention. You just don't see those sorts of numbers in soil samples very often. In fact, I've never seen sort of 20 gram samples, soil samples before. So really spectacular.
Yeah, very high grade. Maybe can you explain the methodologies? Like, how do soil samples work? How do you pick them? Rock samples are easy. You take the shiny stuff and test it, right? Or I would say, but how does it work with soils, and how do you come up with those results? How do you target that?
Yeah, so really what you're usually looking for with soil samples, you sort of dig a hole and try and get below any vegetation that's there, and take a sort of reasonable volume. And what we do is generally we'll sieve that down to remove any sort of rocky fragments, etc. And then all of those samples are then assayed in the laboratory with a sort of mixed acid digest to give us a more reliable multi-element analysis.
No, gotcha. Okay, no, I appreciate that, Tim. Let's talk about like the significance of it. Like, Carmenes is not the flagship project. Escacena is the flagship project in the south, but the status is, I wouldn't say it's changing, but Carmenes is picking up in priority here. And we last spoke about 10 days ago, and you mentioned, well, we're going to deploy a drill there at Carmenes any day now. Like, what's the status on that?
Yeah, I will. So I just before I sort of leave the soil geochemistry results altogether, what is interesting, because generally you're doing soil sampling and you're trying to get some dispersion, some indicators, so you can help zoom in where you might want to drill, etc. And because there's some old mine work, it's very easy to think, well, those results are just contamination from some old mines. Well, in this instance, this is what's really significant, is particularly with the gold and the lead and so on, is the highest concentrations of metals are upslope and away from the mine workings. So generally material doesn't sort of roll uphill or disperse uphill. It tends to go down. That's how gravity works. So that's the significance of those results. It suggests that there's something else there to the side and away from the old mine workings that's really expanded, that, as I described, expanded the footprint of the mineralisation. So, that's telling us there could be either another breccia pipe there, or perhaps perhaps some sedimentary hosted mineralisation off the flanks of a breccia pipe or something like that. So these to get those sorts of numbers, that are outside of any mine contamination is what's particularly special. So we did follow that up with some rock chip geochemistry as well, and we had some initial reconnaissance sampling in that area, which gave us a clue there was some gold. But that's shown that there is gold plus these other metals in outcrop away from these mine workings. So it looks to be real. So what's the status from there? Well, we followed that. We've followed that up again with some surface trench sampling. So that's going to get where we're going to take some continuous samples across the surface to see if we can start to really zero in on the source of that gold mineralisation. And during the sort of sampling and the detailed mapping over that area, we uncovered a couple of galleries or tunnels into the side of the hill. But they just went straight in. There's no real deviations off them or anything. It looked like they were just exploratory tunnels. So we've been able to expose those and get in and sample those as well. So we've got some channel sampling results from those underground tunnels to also report. So they go in underneath that soil anomaly. So more news to come, which hopefully will give us some more of that nice gold, etc. I did mention that we got a drill rig. We're about to drill there. So we were planning to drill a couple of early holes into the breccia pipe amongst in where the old mine workings were, to give us an idea what the width and grades were across the breccia pipe, but also to drill beneath the mine workings to see how it might continue. So we managed, despite some snow and other things trying to fix the road access, we've got a drill rig in there. That drill rig's in position. We've got about 20 or 30 metres down, but the snow has sort of come down hard on us, and we can't even get people into the site at the moment. So we just have to wait for the snow to clear, and we'll be back in there and hopefully have some drill results very shortly as well.
No, fair enough. Like Tim, you mentioned you got some more ground truthing results coming out. Some channel sampling and things. Like, what's the timeline on that? What should we be looking forward to?
Yeah, in fact, the results are coming in, so it won't take long to put into a news release. Perhaps next 1 or 2 weeks at the very most. Drill results for those 2 holes, subject to the snow clearing and being able to actually get to the drill site. I guess we're looking probably a month, 6 weeks or something like that before we get the assay results. But then they're shallow holes. As I say, they're just the first test at the known breccia mineralisation. In the meantime, we found this gold zone off to the side. So subject to what we get from those channel samples and the sampling in the old tunnels, I can easily see us putting another hole or 2 off to the side beneath that soil anomaly as well.
No, fantastic, Tim. I can tell you're like a little kid in the candy shop right now. You're smiling all over. You're a happy camper here. So really, really great to see that excitement. Zooming out real quick. Any other news we can expect before Carmenes ground truthing results? Is there anything that we should be looking forward to? Maybe something from Escacena. I know you're drilling there at La Romana and Encina. Is like anything we should be expecting there?
Yeah, so we've had 3 rigs going up to when the snow has slowed us down. So we've had a drill rig at La Romana, another drill rig at the Encina target, which and the first hole going in at the Providencia target up in northern Spain. So it's nice to be have the drill rigs turning, and we announced earlier this year that we've embarked on a fairly aggressive drill program with the extra money we had in the bank. So I expect we'll have some drill results starting to flow in over the next few weeks. What else have we got? We've also have the ground IP survey that's finishing off at Bravo. That's also been weather interrupted, so there's a little bit more to do on that. We're obviously dead keen to get that IP survey finished and then roll the drill rigs in on that. Very important Bravo target. So there are a few things to watch out for.
No, fantastic, Tim. Really looking forward to Bravo personally. We all know that, but Carmenes is really, really interesting. Really looking forward to seeing some of the drill results that potentially came out and some more of the ground truthing work. Should be really interesting. And it's really taking up a bit of more priority here within the portfolio. So really good to see. Tim, really appreciate you being available for this update. And everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in here to the Gold Newsletter. I forgot to mention, of course, my co-host here on the channel is Brian London. Really appreciate his opportunity to host with him alongside with him. And if you haven't done so, make sure to follow and like this down below. Hit the subscribe button and to let us know what do you think of Pan Global. Like, what do you think of Carmenes target? Does it outshine or start to outshine Escacena? And we'll have to see about that. So really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you so much. We'll be back with lots more. Thank you.